Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Daily Gwei Refuel, where I recap the latest news in the Ethereum ecosystem. I'm your host, Anthony Sassano, and today is 26th of April, 2024. Alright everyone, let's get into it. So welcome to the last Refuel episode for about a month. As I've mentioned previously, I'm going to be on break from the Refuel until May 23rd, and I'm going to talk more about that at the end. But yeah, I mean, it is a weird feeling saying that, because this will be the longest break that I will have taken since I took a break, I believe, for 2 weeks when I went to Amsterdam like 2 years ago, but that was going to like a crypto conference, so I was still out and about, whereas this is just a break that I'm taking, as you guys know, due to burnout that I have been feeling over a very long period of time, actually. But anyway, as I said, I'm going to get to that at the end because I want to get through all the news before I talk about that. But let's start off with the biggest news of the last 24 hours, which is kind of a funny bit of news to end the episode on, because I believe over the next few weeks, there's going to be a lot of, I guess, like back and forth about this particular issue that I'm not going to be able to cover. So as I said on yesterday's episode, make sure you're following the right sources. But what I'm talking about is that ConsenSys, the Ethereum company, ConsenSys, the company founded by Joe Lubin, filed a lawsuit against the SEC today. So the goal behind this lawsuit, as they say here, is to ensure that Ethereum remains a vibrant and indispensable blockchain platform and to preserve access for the countless developers, market participants, and institutions who have a stake in the world's second largest blockchain. So the reason why ConsenSys has filed this suit against the SEC is because I think that ConsenSys/MetaMask received a Wells notice from the SEC earlier in the month, basically with the SEC saying that we're going to sue ConsenSys over MetaMask kind of staking, I guess, like feature, and basically saying that they were operating as a money transmitter business from my reading there, and also they're trying to go after ConsenSys for the ConsenSys's sales of ETH and say that, you know, them selling ETH is a securities transaction. Now, if you recall, a judge actually ruled that XRP wasn't a security in the Ripple case, but said that the Ripple Labs sales of XRP to institutional clients were securities transactions. At least that's my kind of remembering of it there, which means that they have precedent to stand on here when going up to ConsenSys for this. But of course, that doesn't mean that the SEC is right here. Just because a judge ruled on it doesn't mean that the SEC is going to win this case based on that other case there. But ConsenSys obviously wanted to get ahead of this, and they have filed a lawsuit directly against the SEC. And what I love about this is that it's continuing the trend of crypto not backing down anymore. Like, when we're done kind of backing down, we're done being bullied by the SEC. As an industry, we now are just taking the fight to them. You know, you have ConsenSys preemptively suing the SEC here. You have Coinbase not rolling over at all over the SEC, suing them and basically saying, you know, we're going to fight you for as long as it takes. You have Uniswap Labs doing the same. You had, obviously, a while ago, Grayscale do the same with the SEC. And Ripple, of course, and a few others out there. But now the SEC has just gone way too far, right? They've basically gone to the point where they've done that scorched earth approach that I've talked about before, where essentially everyone in crypto now realizes that if SEC keeps doing this, they're going to push all of the innovation out of the US, absolutely everything out of the US, and they're going to very much harm the US economy in the grand scheme of things, and also harm US people and US citizens, which is the exact opposite of what they should be doing. But obviously we know the SEC is not a fair regulator. It is not a regulator that is actually acting in the best interest of the people. It is acting in the best interest of their political overlords, and it's all political bullshit. I mean, I've talked about that a lot on the Refuel before. Now, another interesting point about this, and this was a bit of news from Eleanor Terred here, in the actual lawsuit, ConsenSys hired some of the best lawyers in the US to represent them here against the SEC. And you can see Eleanor said here, Watchtower lawyers, or Watchtower lawyers, I don't know how to pronounce that. She says here, is widely regarded as one of the best litigators in the world. So not just the US, but in the world. And then there's a quote here from Andrew Keys, who is a longtime Ethereum, who says they certainly didn't cheap out on hiring the best law firms in the US. So not only is ConsenSys taking this to the SEC, they're going with all the firepower they can muster. They're getting one of the best litigators in the world to represent them in this case, to go after the SEC, to get clarity around a whole host of things. This isn't just for Ethereum, guys. This is for crypto as a whole here. And I think this is probably the best thing ConsenSys has ever done. ConsenSys has done a lot of really great stuff for both the Ethereum and crypto ecosystems at large. For those of you who don't know, ConsenSys has been around for a very long time. It was one of the first, or if not the first, company that was founded that surrounds Ethereum by Joe Lubin, which is one of the Ethereum co-founders. And it's also funded a lot of Ethereum development over the years. They developed things like MetaMask and other popular tools like Infura. So they've been a staple of the Ethereum ecosystem for a very long time now. But even in the face of all of that, I think this is the best thing they've ever done. I think this is going to be so good. It's going to cost a lot of money, but it's going to be so good to basically show the SEC that the crypto, and show, I guess, like the wider US regulatory regime, that the crypto ecosystem is not just going to sit there and take it anymore. We're going to take the fight to you, and we're going to try our hardest and as hard as we can to win against you by hiring the best litigators in the world, which is insane. And I think that given that these companies have, the money to do this, it's great that they're doing it. Coinbase, Uniswap Labs, ConsenSys, they have so much money. And of course, they've also got VC backers as well, which are, have funded them. But I'm sure they're happy to see that money is going towards this use as well, because, as I said, this is bordering on existential threat for crypto in the US. If the SEC and other regulators keep being extremely hostile and push crypto out of the US, this is really bad for the US economy. If you believe, as I do, that crypto is the next internet, is the next financial system, is going to lead to trillions of dollars of value generation over decades to come, and it's also really, really bad for the US persons as well, because it just takes away opportunities from US people to work within crypto unless they move somewhere else, or unless they work remotely for an overseas company there. And again, I guess, like, the US economy loses out here. Now, I will say on this as well, in terms of like Democrats versus Republicans, there was a bit of discussion about this today. I said in the Daily Gwei Discord channel today, without getting too political, that like I wouldn't rely on a change of admin here. I wouldn't rely on the Republicans winning in order for us to have more favorable kind of crypto, I guess, like stances from the politicians. I wouldn't rely on that at all, guys, because I don't even vote in the US elections, obviously, because I'm not a US citizen here. But like, I'm not going to lie, I don't really have a feeling that Trump's going to win. I feel more like that Biden's going to win. And as I said, I don't want to dive into the politics here, but from everything that I've seen, if I was to put a bet on it, I put a bet on that. And I could be completely wrong on this, but that's why I'm also saying that there's no point relying on a change of admin here, because that is placing a pretty big bet that may not pan out. And then you're basically shit out of luck. So by doing this, by suing the SEC, by going after this administration's kind of regulatory apparatus here, and basically getting them to continue to lose in court, and getting them to continue to be forced to give clarity on these things, that to me is a much better path than just relying and betting on a change in admin. I just don't think that that's going to be something that works in our favor. Even if Trump was to win and the admin was to change, there is also no guarantee that we have more favorable crypto legislation under Republicans, or crypto regulations under Republicans, as we do Democrats. It probably will be more favorable, but that's not a guarantee. So that's why I'm saying that we shouldn't just like put all our, I guess, like chips on that. We should be doing as much as we can to ensure that crypto survives in the US and crypto continues to thrive in the US. Yeah, but as I said, you guys know I'm not a US citizen. I live in Australia, but obviously the US is the biggest crypto market right now. It is basically the center of a lot of the big crypto companies in the world. And all that's going to happen is that crypto is not going to die. Crypto is not going anywhere. But what's going to happen is that crypto is going to die in the US if they keep on this path. If the regulators keep on this path and they keep just screwing around, people are eventually going to give up and basically say it's not worth it to stick around. But at this point in time, we haven't given up yet. We're at the then they fight you stage. And you know what? We're fighting back. We're not going to lay down and get bullied anymore. So that's why I thought this was really bullish today, not just for Ethereum, but crypto generally. And I think this is the best thing ConsenSys has ever done. And I obviously hope they win. I hope Coinbase wins. But as you guys know, these things take years to play out, unfortunately. This is not going to be settled overnight. And by the time it even gets settled, Gary Gensler may not even be the chair of the SEC anymore. That's how long these things take to play out. Now, the final thing I'll say on this is with regards to the ETH ETF. Obviously, this is bearish for the ETH ETF approval because of the fact that if the SEC is being this aggressive, if they're going this scorched earth, then it's safe to say that them approving an ETH ETF would be really bizarre, right? It would be very, very bizarre. But hey, we live in bizarre times, so maybe it still happens. But, as you guys know, I said that I'd give it till like the end of April before I basically, threw in the towel here. But then I changed my stance on that, basically saying that I'm just going to stick to my, yes, it's getting approved by May 23rd. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But no one can be blamed, in my opinion, at this stage. And no one can be faulted for thinking that these things are going to be denied based on all of the information that we have. And it's not the end of April yet, but it's the last refill I'm going to do in April. So I figured it was worth basically saying, that's basically it, guys. I think we're at the end here of this. This circus is not over, but this part of it is. This act is. The circus is going to continue for years to come, unfortunately. There's going to be immediate lawsuits filed if the ETH ETFs get denied. We already know that. We already know everything that's going into that. But as I said, like at this point in time, I would not fault anyone for thinking with 100% certainty that the ETH ETFs are getting denied, even with like 95% certainty or something like that, just based on the facts and circumstances that we have in front of us, which is unfortunate. I'm a big believer in, in staying hopeful till the very last kind of, chance that you can. I'm going to be hopeful right up until May 23rd. But now, I guess, like what I shift to is more about why the SEC is going to deny the ETH ETFs. What justification are they going to use? Are they going to say it's because they believe ETH is a security? Are they going to use a spot correlation stuff? Are they going to say that there's too many active cases against companies in Ethereum's orbit, so that means we're not comfortable approving an ETH ETF? I don't even know if they could use that reason, but hey, I don't think they actually care what they can and can't do at this point in time. They seem to be taking the scorched earth approach. I do still think that they're not going to deny the ETH ETFs by saying that they think ETH is a security. I think that they're going to deny for a different reason. But if they do deny based on, their belief that ETH is a security, that wouldn't come as a shock to me at this point in time, given the behavior of the SEC under Gary Gensler. And, this isn't just got to do with crypto either. There is a lot of people in and outside of crypto, even people that don't like crypto, saying that this SEC is the worst in the SEC's history. This chair is the worst in history. It's doing nothing to protect anyone and doing everything to drive innovation out of the United States, which is just absolutely insane, but that's the reality that we live in today. But anyway, just wanted to recap all of that for you guys. As I said, over the next few weeks, I'm sure there's going to be more and more stuff coming out around this and the ETH ETFs. I'm not going to be here to cover it. And I'm actually going to be radio silent from May 6th to May 23rd. So I'm not even going to know what's going on. And I'm going to come back on May 23rd. And it's going to be quite a I think, like jading experience for me to come back on that date. I'm sure that it's going to be quite fun for me to basically spend that whole day catching up with things. But hey, that's the denial or approval date. We'll have to see what happens there. All right, moving on. So another big piece of news over the last 24 hours was that Stripe, the $80 billion payments network, payments company that has been around for quite a while now, is getting back into the crypto payments game. So they showed off a demo at one of their, I don't even know what it was. It might have been like an investor presentation or something like that, that they're going to start by supporting Ethereum mainnet, Polygon, their Polygon POS chain, and Solana with their crypto payments infrastructure here. And I said in my tweet, I bet they'll quickly add L2 support, with Base being at the forefront, as in my opinion, Base is the perfect payments layer for USDC. So great to see them just getting back into the crypto payments game here. I've been doing a fair bit of crypto payments recently, actually. There's a figurine store that I buy off online, and they actually use Coinbase Commerce, which uses Base, and which is really cool because they use anything that I have on Base. I've been able to buy figurines with USDC, with ETH, and with DGen as well. I had some DGen left over that I used to buy figurines on Base. So it works. It works really well. Base is just awesome, fast, cheap. Love it, right? And the same is going to be true for Stripe here. Yes, obviously, it's table stakes to support Ethereum mainnet. Polygon's chain is actually supported by a lot, and I can't wait for the POS chain to become an L2 here. And obviously Solana is supported as well, because I think at this point in time, in terms of like attention on the different chains out there, Solana definitely has a lot of attention when it comes to payments. But as I said, I still believe that Base is the perfect payments layer for USDC specifically, because USDC is 25% owned, or Circle, the company, is 25% owned by Coinbase. Coinbase has massive vested interest in scaling up USDC, and obviously they're also have a massive vested interest in Base. So it makes total sense to me that this is going to happen. And I could see in the future, all payments that go through Stripe using USDC on Base are free. Like, that is what we've been trying to do for so long now with crypto, and it's great to see that we're actually, seeing the kind of finish line here. But it also speaks to the fact that, these big US-based companies like Stripe are still getting involved with crypto. BlackRock is just like the tip of the iceberg here. Yes, they are the biggest asset manager in the world, but it's them. PayPal and Visa have been involved for a while. You have Stripe. There's so many others out there. There's all these banks out there. So I really do think that the I guess like hostility we've seen in the US is really just a speed bump. I really don't think that the SEC or any regulators or any politicians are going to be able to push crypto out of the US. There's just too much involvement from the different US companies, big US companies, especially things like BlackRock and other TradFi institutions there, there's just too much activity happening there. But great to see Stripe getting back into the payments game after I think like 8 years ago or 10 years ago, they stopped supporting crypto payments, but now they're back into it and they're supporting Ethereum mainnet, Polygon POS, and Solana right now, with L2 support, I'm sure, coming soon. All right, so we have an all core devs recap here from Tim Byko. Now, this was a bit of a spicy all core devs from what I read and saw. There has been a lot of discussion around EIP 3074, which is the account abstraction EIP that I've covered on the Refuel before. A lot of people are, I don't know if I say up in arms about it, but they're very concerned about a few different things. And I discussed this on an episode a couple of weeks ago, so I'm not going to rehash it here, but there was a lot of discussion about that on the call. So if you're interested in that, you should go check it out. Otherwise, there was a bunch of other things discussed, such as Devnet 0 spec for the Petra Devnet. So this will be the first Petra Devnet, and there is currently a spec in place right now, or kind of being worked on right now. There was implementation chat about Devnet 0. There were some more EIPs slated for inclusion within Petra that was decided on this call. So EIP 7685 and EIP 6110 and 7002 have been updated to take into account that 7685 is now included. And there are two other EIPs considered for inclusion, 7212 and 7623. Bunch of updates given on EIPs and a discussion around L1/L2 governance. So you can go give the whole summary a read for yourself. I'll link it in the YouTube description below, as well as watch the YouTube stream if you would like there. I'll, of course, link that down below for you. All right, so Heroglyphs has gotten an updated white paper here. So this is fully unclassified. So you remember I covered this project a couple of weeks ago where the white paper actually had a bunch of it blacked out. Well, the white paper has been updated and the blacking out has been removed. So now you can go see what this is all about. I'm not going to spoil it for you guys. I'm not going to try and TLDR it. It's a very short white paper, so I highly recommend you go and read it. But I'm pretty excited about this project and I can't wait to see how it evolves from here. I think that it could move the needle on getting more people involved with solo staking and basically turning degens into regens, as you guys know that that's one of the things that I really like in the Ethereum ecosystem, is where we come up with nice, creative, and innovative ideas of turning like the degenerate behavior within crypto into regenerative behavior that basically is a net good for the ecosystem. So yeah, you can go give this updated white paper a read on the Heroglyphs protocol. 0x Mackie is the one leading this right now, but there are a bunch of other people working on it, and some of them are credited in the white paper. So I'll link this in the YouTube description below for you to go check out. All right, so this account on Twitter that I haven't come across before, it's tamaratran.eth, has announced in a Twitter thread that they've quit their job at Apple to build Blobspace derivatives and contribute to the ETH ecosystem. So they started off their tweet thread by saying, Blobs unlock unprecedented scaling for L2s, but have huge gas spikes and price volatility. They lack financialization like hedging and fractionalization. So basically what Tamara wants to build is Blobspace derivatives, which I think has been talked about for a little while and has been something that people have been speculating on that would come to market for a little while. But essentially what this is, it's like a futures market, I guess, for blobs. It's basically, if you consider blobs to be a commodity, you can basically bet on this commodity. And there's a whole blog post here describing this. I'll link it in the YouTube description below. But the TLDR is that, she's developing the financial markets for Ethereum block space, designed to increase efficiency around price discovery and improve the user and developer experience for data publication to Ethereum. And then the rest of the post goes into details around this. Now, I think this is really cool. It's very similar to what people have tried to do with just like the normal gas markets in the past, where essentially you could create derivatives around gas where buy when it's, it's low, like right now when it's single digits, and then use that when it's more expensive. You used to be able to do that in protocol with gas refunds, which actually got removed from the protocol because it was quite toxic to the protocol. It wasn't actually a positive for the protocol. But building, I guess, like derivative products on top, or building kind of futures products on top of these markets, or of these kind of in protocol markets, is a really smart way to do it, because it's not being done at the protocol level, it's being done extra protocol, but it still offers a solution for those who want to take advantage of it. So you can go check this out. I'll link the blog post in the YouTube description below for you to do so. All right, so you can now swap tokens from any supported chain onto Arbitrum using Robinhood's wallet. So, and the best part is that Robinhood takes zero fees here. So this flies under the radar a lot, and I don't understand why. This is a pretty big deal, guys. You know, Robinhood has a lot of non-crypto users. They definitely do have crypto users, but a lot of the people that use Robinhood are very much trading stocks and like options and kind of TradFi things, right? Like in the TradFi world, not necessarily crypto-related things. But Arbitrum is working closely with Robinhood to make it so that people can essentially use the Arbitrum ecosystem and Arbitrum networks to buy crypto assets, all fully on-chain in a non-custodial way, I believe, as well. And as I said, this is flying under the radar. It's just not something that I see people being excited about, which is absolutely bizarre to me. This is a huge partnership, guys. Like, and this is a real partnership. It's not one of those fluffy marketing partnerships that people kind of come up with in order to pump a token. This is real. This is something that real users of Robinhood can take advantage of, and real users of Arbitrum can take advantage of as well, which is great to see here. So this is being powered, actually, the actual bridging by Li-Fi protocol in the background here, which is really cool. And you can download the app on iOS and Android if you haven't yet for Robinhood. But this is cool. Cross-chain swaps on Ethereum and Arbitrum and Polygon POS chain using Li-Fi. I hope to see more of this kind of action happening on Robinhood, but also on other TradFi platforms. I think that eventually you're going to see like all of these TradFi platforms offer crypto trading, and not just crypto trading, but offer like on-chain things, and I'm curious to see where that all lands. Like, does it all land in the Ethereum ecosystem, or do these other things, do these TradFi institutions just support everything? I do think they're going to start off by supporting the Ethereum ecosystem first, because it's the largest and it's got the most liquidity and it's easy to integrate with, because a lot of it is just EVM based, so there's no need to change things around from going from kind of chain to chain here, because, you know, most of the L2s are EVM based as well. So that's really, really great to see there. But you can check out more details about this. I'll link it in the YouTube description below for you to do so. All right, speaking of L2s and EVM L2s and non-EVM L2s, there was a project that I mentioned or I talked about a little while ago called Movement that is developing a move-based layer 2 on Ethereum here. Now, a disclosure, I am an advisor to Movement here. I think what they're building is really cool. I think the Move ecosystem has a lot of potential, and I'd love to see that potential realized as a layer 2 on Ethereum. Obviously, there are layer 1s out there like Aptos that are using Move, but as you guys know, I'm a layer 2 guy, I'm a modular guy. I much prefer these things done at layer 2. Well, the reason why I'm bringing up Movement today is because they announced that they had a $38 million Series A round led by Polychain here. That's a pretty big round, guys, I think, and it just speaks to the fact that layer 2s on Ethereum are attracting a lot of capital into their fundraisers, a lot of attention, because I think that even if these, I guess, like VCs or whatever you want to call them, or these investors or whatever they are, think that their L1s that they're investing in is going to return them, money or be a return on investment, they may not believe that it's actually going to be a long-term sustainable solution here. And I think that if you talk to the smartest people in this ecosystem, in the crypto ecosystem at large, most of them will say that the layer 2 or modular roadmap is the sustainable solution. You don't know who's going to win. You can't really pick winners right now. I think that there's a strong case to be made that Ethereum is going to be the winner and is already the winner and will continue to be the winner into the future. But that's just my take. A lot of people can't really decide on a winner that they want to pick. I think Ethereum's going to win. Don't know which L2s are going to win. We've seen that the fact that things can change very quickly. Arbitrum 1 has been leading and is still leading on the L2 side, but Base has been having a really good time over the last few months. It's gotten a lot of new activity into it, and it's climbing up the ladder of both activity and TVL there. So yeah, it really is anyone's game. You can't look 5 to 10 years out and have any certainty over which L2 is going to succeed. I can look out 5 to 10 years and say with 100% certainty that I believe Ethereum is still going to be at the forefront of everything in this ecosystem. But when it comes to L2s, I have much less confidence in any of them. I think that they're all great teams. They're all building really great stuff, but it's really hard to know which ones are going to be the winner. So in that world, what investors want to do is they want to diversify their bets on these different L2s, and that's why they're funding things like Movements and other L2s out there, is because they want to be, they want a piece of everything, and they want to make sure that they can have exposure to all of it. And that's the same for me when I invest in the L2s, when I advise them. I want to be across as many of them as possible as well, because I don't know who the winners are going to be either. I want to be at the forefront of all of them. I especially want to be involved with the non-EVM ones, because I think that's going to be a big thing. Even though the EVM is still going to remain dominant for the foreseeable future, I think the non-EVM chains are going to be very exciting as well, and they're going to open up many new paths into the Ethereum ecosystem for developers that don't know Solidity but know other languages, and there's plenty of those. There's way more of those cryptos than people who know Solidity here. But anyway, congrats to Movement on the raise here. You can learn more about them. I'll link it in the YouTube description below for you to do so. All right, last up here, speaking of L2s, Base now has the most USDC after Ethereum. So you can go to usdc.cool to actually see these stats. And in order to see that Base has more USDC than Ethereum, you have to tick this bridged USDC thing here. So you can see on this website that Ethereum mainnet has $24 billion worth of USDC. Base has $2.45 million worth of billion dollars worth of USDC, and Solana's in third place with $2.44 billion of USDC on there. And then you have the long tail of others. And Arbitrum is pretty much up there as well, $1.4 billion. And then there's all the other networks listed here as well. But you can see here that Ethereum just dwarfs absolutely everything. You know, $24 billion compared to Base's $2.4 billion. I think that that's going to change relatively quickly. I do think that, as I said, Coinbase and Circle have a very big vested interest in making sure that Base is the USDC payments layer and can scale USDC up, especially in the face of all the Tether competition. So I do think you're going to see that change. But in terms of other networks, look, I think that they're all going to be like, they're all going to keep growing. But if you untick bridged here, a lot of them have a lot of bridged USDC in, not native USDC. There's a very big difference between bridged and native USDC. And I think that what Circle wants to do is they want to increase the amount of native USDC on Base, not bridged USDC. And that's why you can see that most of the USDC on Base, I believe like 2.37 billion of it out of the total 2.45 billion is native USDC, not bridged. And I believe that most of it on Ethereum is native as well. So very cool to see this. Very cool to see that Base has caught up very, very quickly here. And I believe that Base is definitely going to be the payments layer of the future, as I was discussing before. But yeah, I think that's it for all of the news, guys. And that's it, really. I'm getting a little bit emotional here. That is the last episode for a month of the Refuel. Now, just a few housekeeping items before I leave you all for a month. So first off, I will still be active on socials. So on Discord and Twitter until May 6th, because I'm going to a conference in Sydney next week, and I figured that there's no point not being contactable on socials because there's going to be a lot of stuff going on. So I want to be able to be contactable on there, but there will be no refuel during that time. Starting from today, basically after this episode, there will be no refuels until May 23rd. That will be the first episode I do when I get back. And I've decided that what I'm going to do is I'm going to split it up into multiple episodes when I get back. I'm not going to do a mega episode of like 3 hours going over everything. I'm going to record it as 3 hours, honestly, and then I'm going to break it up into multiple episodes because I think that releasing them over time as well is just better for everyone. So I'm going to do that when I get back. I believe May 23rd is a Thursday. So what I'm going to do is, let me have a look here. May 23rd is a Thursday. So what I'm going to do is on that Thursday, I'm going to record the mega episode. Then I'm going to split it up into 30-minute chunks to release on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So that will give you guys 4 days of refuels in a row there when I get back, and then go back into the normal cadence from that following Monday there. So yeah, just to repeat, we'll be active on socials until May 6th, but then from May 6th until May 23rd, I will not be available on socials. I will not be on Twitter, Firecaster, Discord, nothing. I'm removing all the apps from my phone. I'm closing down everything on my computer. I am going to be completely uncontactable on there. I will still be responding to emails and Telegram messages, which are critically important for things like, you know, teams that I'm invested in or things that I have to follow up. I'll still be replying to those sorts of things, but generally I'll be trying to be as disconnected as possible from crypto, because I really think that I need to take a proper break, and not just a break of, oh yeah, I won't do the refuel, but I'll still be on Twitter. No, I need to be completely disconnected from it, and I'm hoping it really re-energizes me, because I'll be honest, guys, at this point in time, I have become very disillusioned with crypto, not with Ethereum. I obviously love Ethereum, but crypto generally is such a cesspit. Like, I hate the crypto ecosystem, if I'm being honest, guys. I love the Ethereum ecosystem, but the broader crypto ecosystem does not vibe with me at all. I don't vibe with any of it, honestly. And you can call me an ETH maxi for this, but I just don't vibe with any of the other stuff. If it wasn't for Ethereum, I wouldn't be in crypto. As simple as that. Now, I've also become, because I'm so, involved with Ethereum, involved with crypto generally, I've become very burnt out and need this break because of that, as I've described before. So I am hoping that it recharges me, because the disillusionment I have towards crypto generally right now is really bad. Like, it's really bad, guys. I mean, the other day I almost rage quit and just threw in the towel, because I was just at my wit's end of like, why am I even doing this if I just like feel like shit about it all the time? Like, if it's not bringing me joy anymore, why am I doing this? And then, I talked to some friends about it, and I let things settle for a couple of days. I was like, you know what? I absolutely love Ethereum. I still love Ethereum. I love everything about Ethereum. It makes me so happy doing the refuel. Makes me so happy being in the Ethereum ecosystem. It's the wider crypto space that has just got me down, and also the general burnout that I'm feeling after not taking a break for so long there. But I do want to end this here. I don't want to ramble too on, but I do want to end too long. I do want to end this here by saying to you guys that do not be afraid to speak up when it comes to mental health. I think that there is this like stigma around mental health, which I absolutely hate, of people being afraid to speak up, or thinking that it makes you look weak if you speak up, or thinking that no one else, feels the way you do, and they're going to just like look at you like you're weird or silly. Like, I'm here to tell you that, like, I believe that there are a lot of people that you'd be shocked to know in the crypto ecosystem that feel the same way I do right now, and that feel potentially even worse than I do about the crypto ecosystem generally, but also they're feeling the burnout that I'm feeling too. They're feeling the disillusionment that I'm feeling too. And I think that a lot of us get stuck into this mindset of being always on with crypto 24/7. And it really erodes at our brain's ability to deal with things. It really erodes at our general ability to filter through things. So please don't be, shy, or don't feel like you can't speak up about these things. In the Daily Gwei Discord channel, we have a mental health channel in there. Feel free to speak your mind in there. There'll be plenty of people in there to speak with and to talk with. And you don't have to go too deep. You don't have to say things you don't want to say, that you feel like you are uncomfortable saying. But really, it is good to talk. I think it is good to talk about this stuff. It is good to get it out. And it is good to take a break. I mean, I already am very much looking forward to my cold turkey break on May 6th. Like, I'm very excited for it, because as I said, it's the first time I'll be doing this in like 7 years, where I actually won't even be looking at prices. I will not know what the price of ETH is between May 6th and May 23rd. I've already told all of my friends that are in crypto, my real life friends, guys, I don't want to talk about crypto at all. Don't talk to me about crypto when we see each other. Don't tell me what the price of ETH is, nothing. So it'll be the first time since early 2017 that I will not know the price of ETH for even a single day, even a single 24-hour period. And I'm doing it from May 6th to 23rd. So I'm looking forward to that. I know it sounds weird, but like, that's kind of where I'm at right now. So yeah, anyway, I think that's it, guys. Like, thank you for sticking with me. Hopefully you'll be here when I get back on the 23rd of May there. And yeah, as I mentioned yesterday, please make sure to get your news from good sources. Do not believe all the narrative bullshit. Do not believe all the fake news. Stick to the good sources. Stick to what you know. Check in the Daily Gwei Discord channel if something is true or not. There's a lot of great people in there. It's still going to be up. I'm not shutting down the Discord or anything like that. I just won't be in there. There's mods in there to deal with spam and scams and stuff like that. So that's all set there, and I'm trusting that the Gwei Guardians, as I call them, the mods on there, to do that for me. But other than that, yeah, this will be it. That's it. We'll see you guys on May 23rd when I get back for that mega episode, or that, I guess, like those 4 episodes in a row. But I'll be recording it as a mega episode there. So yeah, thanks everyone for listening and watching. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Give that video a thumbs up. Subscribe to the newsletter. Join the Discord channel, and I'll catch you all on May 23rd. Thanks everyone.